Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard the Dev Fireside chat for the 14th of August. I'm Josie, and we've got here with us Howard and Eric and Mikko. So, welcome aboard, and let's get your questions. It's been a great week as far as I'm aware. Can you tell us what's been happening in the office today, Howard?
Uh, well, not much. We actually spend quite a little bit of time talking about, moving because it's a kind of a long running saga. But I've been looking for a new home for us, a new room, basically, or a new space. I think we're gonna move actually because our current landlord, they're dicks.
Oh,
So I don't know. Yeah. So we're actually likely gonna move. And that's all happening, and then like I'm spending some more time planning for pack stuff. Everybody else is working. Queso is actually going back to school, so today is his last day of the summer.
oh,
uh, yeah, so we went out to have like lunch, and then after lunch I kind of had to go to the bathroom in a bad way again, so
no problem. So Keitho's going back to school. Hi, Keitho. Hey, if you wanna, you can step in front of Shot and wave at us. We'd like that. He'll get that in 15 seconds. So do you have any idea where you might be moving, or is that still completely up in the air?
um more, well, I mean, we're looking at a couple of space. Like one space we kind of lost out on. The space that we're looking at now that we're likely going to move to is a space like further up, like town. It's not really uptown. It's like more like um, I don't know where that area is. Like Garment District, right? Garment District, yeah,
Okay.
Garment District. I mean, basically, it's like the other like affordable or cheaper area in Manhattan, basically.
All right. Oh, I'm not super familiar with the geography of the area, but I trust you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah, basically, it's like it's hard to find like affordable rent in the city, basically, or like just anywhere in New York. It's
Mm-hmm.
getting harder and harder and harder.
That makes sense. Queso's saying that he could subtly walk behind Eric and see if anyone noticed. Go for it. We want to see.
I mean, he like already announced it though.
Mm. MCR also noting that you and I are on the same stream, Howard, because there was a conspiracy theory that we were the same person for some time.
No, there's a no. I mean,
Oh, and,
there's
and
a,
you killed
actually.
me as well. You killed
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm alive, and all is well. And thanks. The haircut is kind of
Actually, you
making
know
a
what?
difference.
Like, you know what? I mean, if we like go by the murder mystery narrative, like I killed Jacob. So there.
That's true. You killed Jacob, and then a new intern took up the slack. It just
I feel like this
happens.
is the Terminator film, like Howard coming from the future or something to take out Josie, Connor. Just saying
No, I
Mm.
that.
killed Jacob.
Something
I have no problem.
cybernetic.
I have no
Going to
problem
the
admitting
chopper.
that on the internet.
I really wouldn't.
I was
Howard.
like I was really hesitant a couple of weeks ago about admitting to this, but now I'm more comfortable. So
I don't think we're going to arrest you this time. We might let you off.
no, no.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm actually back. I've been out. How like I've been out for a while, dude. 3 weeks,
It's been
maybe.
some time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've been gone a while. We missed you in the
I've been gone a while. I went to Taiwan. I mean, basically, I went to Taiwan for a week, doing a talk at a con. Like basically, it's like just like a develop. It's like the Taiwan version of GDC. Basically, it was like actually really fun, really cool. Met some cool people, and then I was like so like jet lagged. I took a few days off after that, and then this week I was basically just like running around looking at spaces, like office spaces.
Out of
Or yeah,
curiosity, what's
yeah.
like is there a big interest for this kind of like the kind of game that we're making out there in Asia? Like, kind of like a steampunk genre of gameplay? Are people into that kind of
Like,
thing?
like
Like,
steampunk isn't like they're on. I mean, they're on a lot of like steampunk stuff like in
yeah.
Asia. There's some, but it's
Yeah.
like the Asian steampunk is actually more, it's more like Miyazaki, or like people think more about like Final Fantasy, like the early days of Final Fantasy, or
Mhm. I
Miyazaki
guess the Final
stuff.
Fantasy
Like
thing. I mean,
yeah,
but like you guys have a little bit of that a little bit of that like Hayao Miyazaki feel, like especially in those videos. Like
Yeah, I mean,
science video shows a lot of that element in there, and it was just curious because like that might touch on some people's interest in that kind of thing. I wasn't sure how
I
big.
mean,
of
I guess
culture
if
it
you
is out
think,
there.
if you think like Valley of the Wind or like Castle
Yeah.
and Sky or something, like it's
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that.
Mhm.
But
I mean,
like
it's
I think
different, of course.
yeah, so it's a little bit it's a little bit different, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not so much. I mean, I think Asian Asian online gaming are really into competitive, gaming, but it's different types of game. I mean, you have RTS like doing really well. You have like stuff like
Yeah.
World Tank,
Well, that's also
doing
something that I was
You
curious
have
about.
League is blowing up.
Yeah.
They're
Dota, that, yeah.
But
It makes
anyways,
you
yeah,
wonder
like
how this would fit in that whole picture too, because they have a pretty active competitive community too. Like how that would kind of resonate with the players out there in that way.
yeah. I mean, I think part of the reason why, part of us reaching out to more Asian players, it has to be with how Steam expands in Asia. Like it's 'cause we kind of are tied to Steam, right? So we
Right.
go where Steam goes.
Mhm.
But yeah. All right. Oh, by the way, before, I mean, I'm sure there are a bunch of questions, but if anybody's going to PAX, would reply to me via Twitter or email. Yeah, I mean, I said originally like I was gonna have a slot carved out for you guys, so you guys can come visit us. Because we rented an Airbnb like room or apartment actually, which is like awesome. I was gonna set some time aside for people to just come by, but like I need a little bit more time because we're still scheduling a few press appointments. So I need to make sure that I give the press guys, their time slots and stuff. So I probably need to like till early next week to carve out some time slots for people.
So a couple of people are asking where Matt's gone, and Keitho reckons that there could only be one Matt, and so he'll come back when Keitho leaves tonight. But Matt's internet is actually really bad right now, so he couldn't join us, but he's here in spirit, and we miss him very much. So he'll come back, we promise. Howard did not kill him.
Howard did not kill
Howard didn't kill him. All right, it wasn't, and everything's fine. Everything's okay. But we haven't really got any sort of questions, so please ask us questions. That's what we're here for. We've got a lot of interesting things coming up, of course, at the end of the month. We're looking forward to getting Alliance mode maybe into the hands of some people, maybe. How's it looking? Are you looking it up? Howard's muted right now. I don't know what's up. Hey.
Sorry. Yeah, I was. Wait, what was the question?
I was saying, what's the status of Alliance since we're starting the countdown?
Well, we're pretty good. Like, I mean, mostly we are. We're getting closer. We're pretty close to ready for PAX. PAX, like if we can have a build ready for PAX, I mean, essentially we are going to start distributing it to the people who pre-order basically right after that. Because right now, like we need to start plan. We need to plan for PAX and stuff as well. I mean, but essentially the build is going to be the same build. It's pretty good. I mean, we're still kind of set dressing some of the basically the new assault map, which I just saw on Tim's screen. It's like I think it's looking pretty sweet. And it plays pretty sweet. Like I was only a part of the test sessions Tuesday, I think the matches we played are pretty solid. And Warren's working on. You can see actually in the back, that guy's Warren. You can see him working on just some graphic design for Alliance and doing more UI work. So we need that. And then Alex and George have been spending a lot of time debugging. Tom is out this week, by the way. I think he's visiting like relatives or something. And then so like, but Alex and George have been spending a lot of time tracking that performance issue and like bugs and stuff, which we had quite a bit, but like it's actually gotten better because we found and fixed a few memory leaks, which were causing the most severe memory issues and crash issues, and I think we got those squared away. So I think it's looking pretty solid. And what's today, the 14th? Yeah, like basically by PAX time or shortly thereafter, we should be able to start distributing bills. Yeah, and then that's a good question. I was hoping to get more answer from Steam, but even if I don't, there is a way I can start getting people builds. So like right now, we already have an app ID on Steam for it as a DLC, but we were like going to ask Steam whether that's like the best way to actually to quote unquote release the game, right? And and what release is going to be like, and except that like Steam, like our account manager has been out of the Dota 2 like tournament, so he hasn't like gotten back to us. But like I do know that like right now we have the ability to issue like quote unquote retail keys, but then that whole thing is not active. But then we should be able to start distributing the beta keys as well using that system. So like worst comes to worst, we could just like start giving people beta keys and they could get into the development builds right away, which I think that's probably the best option. And then once we have like things more solidified with Steam, then we can like just basically switch people over or send people like the actual retail keys, which should be, I think it should be pretty seamless. So yeah, I mean, we'll do something along that line to get people access.
Cool. What are we most excited for with the release of Alliance Mode? I know for me, it's going to be the new ships and seeing how they all interact with the world, but of course we need to know everyone else's answers. Mikko, what do you think?
About what?
What are you most excited for Alliance Mode to be released? Like, what really gets you going about it?
Man, like, there's just so many things, like the new gameplay modes, the environments you're in, the new ships and weapons, like all the content that comes with the game. Because I was just being in the last few tests, I felt like I was starting like Guns of Icarus all over again, just admiring the environment and just loving everything that's going on. There's a lot of action that goes on in these games too, and it's actually really challenging. Like, goodness, like I was not expecting that. So it's really, really fun because it's a whole different gameplay. It's not PvP. It's working with people more often, and that's an even more positively reinforcing experience too, because you're working together, not against each other. So it could be just really awesomely challenging. But like the environments and everything, all the content that's coming in this game is just super cool. So I'm really excited for that, definitely. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Howard, Eric, what are you most excited for?
I'm most for finishing Alliance Mode.
Yeah, finishing Alliance Mode does sound like something to be excited for. It's been a long time coming. A lot of hard work. Howard, is your answer
I'm
the same?
excited too. No, I'm excited too. So that like just for some of the people who've been yelling at us about like when is co-op? What are you guys doing? Blah blah blah. Basically, I will be excited if I can like not be called an idiot by a player for like a few days.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. I think I feel like recently the testing that we've been doing has been pretty solid. I feel like we've done a lot of great work. You like with the way it developed, like how we developed, it's like there were a long time kind of spend not necessarily in the dark per se, but kind of like searching, tweaking, and just kind of iterating. And for a while, it's like a long struggle, right? Just to see like what works and try to like mold this idea a little bit by little bit into shape. And then, so that took us a long time. And I feel like when when it's like, okay, fine, we finally got some like all the a lot of the system, a lot of mechanics that we wanted into the game, and they're all kind of like finally working better and better. Then like the last, I want to say like month, 2 months has been, it's definitely been like a lot more enjoyable, especially for me, because like it's just kind of seeing how far we've traveled, how like hard of a struggle it took us to get to this place. It's been, I mean, that's pretty cool. But I'm more like more forward looking, I would say, in that I'm more excited by the things that we haven't done yet. So like the maps that, so for example, like the defense map that you guys haven't like seen yet, that we haven't like really dressed up yet, or the music that the composer is still revising, or all the new weapons that we're prototyping, the faction progression that we've designed and like actually UI like sketch but haven't like really implemented yet, like all those stuff. I'm more excited about. The stuff that we already done. It's like, did it.
What ways will players or what kind of things will players need to do to adjust to co-op mode, like to alliance mode? Is there anything in particular they'll need to change about their play style so they can still enjoy it?
Yeah. You're shooting more than 4 things at once. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can even fire a gun that potentially shoot 4 things at once. That's kind of interesting.
That really couldn't be more of an understatement.
A few things at once. Yeah.
A few things. I mean, that's
I think it's like there are times where I feel like I play co-op. Like, I think when you play skirmish, right? Even if you play like CP matches, I think like how well you're doing, it's like very immediate, right? Like it's like you get a kill, or you die, your score like counts up, right? It's very, very immediate. Like you know how well you're doing versus your opponent, like very apparently, right? But I think in co-op, sometimes it's like, you wander into a valley, you like dabble around the I'm gonna do my thing, and then all of a sudden, like, oh my god, you realize that, like a little bit later, you realize, oh my god, the lack of coordination, communication, decision that I made earlier, it's like, oh my god, all of a sudden it comes back to bite you, and then you're like, oh my god, I need to react and haul ass or whatever. I mean, it's a different feeling, I think.
There is a little more room for error in this one than it is like the expectations from players. Like, it's just a different feel to the gameplay.
Yeah, and I think another thing that is really interesting is that balance-wise and how we design weapons and ships and everything is actually really different, because we're no longer we're more like the balance constraints that we work with are different, right? I mean, we don't have to worry about this is gun OP against another player's ship and whatever. If like dial this gun up a little bit, oh my god, it's gonna ruin the fun for a section of players who think that the game is OP and blah blah. The gun is OP, and like in co-op we kind of the freedom to do crazier things, But so the balance is really more. Yeah, it's a different kind of balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's a more like risk reward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will we pull any more publicity stunts after we release Alliance properly?
Yeah, I was thinking about like base jumping off of the Empire State Building, but I've never really done it before, so. Yeah.
You were gonna do that? That's amazing. I want to see that.
Josie, you can like jump off the London Eye or something.
Sure thing, I'll help. I don't know exactly how I'm going to be able to get access to the particular piece of tourism, but I can try.
If you could do it off like Big Ben, that might be a little more clearance than the Eye. Just saying.
They're actually really like the same height, and
are they?
the Eye is over the river, so I could at least have a soft landing if the tide's up.
Yeah.
I don't know how soft it's going to be, but
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it too much. I think
publicity stunt. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I would like to. You know what? If you guys have a really awesome publicity stunt that we can potentially pull off, that we can entertain, dude, tell us.
Okay.
Oh man.
I love
I'll
the
be
ideas.
Do we have any plans for another big update after Alliance mode?
For skirmish, you mean?
For anything.
I'm assuming.
Just
For
sort of-
skirmish, yeah, definitely. Yes, actually, we're working on some of the stuff right now. There are a number of, I would say, things that I think it should make people happy. The big thing that we're still like continue making progress on, and actually we made quite a bit of progress. Is still player hosted servers. So we actually got it to a place where some of the parameters are like working, and the whole like network and server structure and everything are actually working. We don't have like any way to skin it, and we need a bunch of testing, and I think just working on like having maybe try to expose a few more parameters. I mean, like the expectation, I should set the expectation that like when we have like first rev for player hosted servers, I mean it won't be like every single like parameter that you would like potentially in match or whatever, or like match condition and whatever is all exposed. It probably won't be as robust as that. So we'll need some time to get there, but there will be something. So that's like I think really exciting. The other thing that we're working on is tweak the kind of how we structure matches and stuff to both get quote unquote vets into the game, like try to have better match system where like it pits them against each other more, and also to reward people from playing that way, and then we'll also have like some more like rewards for people doing the nice things in game, but I think a corollary, a part of that will be to actually do more with clans. We're building like a clan achievement leveling reward system as well. Like initially it won't be like super robust, but it will be like something. I think it'll be something interesting.
There have been a couple of ideas for publicity stunts. Get a giant hot air balloon and shoot T-shirts from a cannon.
Do we? I'm assuming that we do that over like packs, right?
Yeah.
Like,
or the hot air balloon paintball war.
wow,
Parachute
okay.
out of a zeppelin with colored smoke.
I feel like if we do like a paintball war with zeppelins or something, don't we need to partner with like Air Buccaneers or something?
Maybe if you...
That would be really cool.
That would be kind of cool though. I mean, I wish, man, like it would be mad expensive, but like like if at the time, if we do something like that, would be funny.
Will we ever make, it says adventure mode here, but will we ever make adventure mode like more in-depth single-player game where you have an AI crew, better faction progression,
Yeah.
etc.? So
Like,
it's a sort of
I think-
single-player story mode.
Well, I mean, I think if we do anything single player, it will come after like what we're working on now. But I think we'll have a lot. We'll essentially have the components or the foundation that we will need to be able to craft a single player experience. But I mean, if you're expecting to say like, Call of Duty type of like campaign stuff, probably not. I mean, that's actually, those things are not easy actually.
I think we've got. I'm assuming this is. I think this is a publicity stunt suggestion. Boarding vessels and raiding them for loot, what have you.
Sure, wait, sure that's a publicity stunt? I think that sounds like a feature request.
Well, I don't know. It kind of sounds like both, which is why I wasn't sure. But yeah, if we want to,
That sounds like a terrorist plot.
Yeah,
It sounds like
if we did it in a hot air balloon,
it sounds like I'll get arrested for this.
Yeah, we just rappel down from a hot air balloon onto merchant ships and take them. It's just piracy. That's not a publicity stunt anymore. That's like an illegal act of war or something. But I like the idea.
So basically, you're meant to tell me I'm supposed to like charter a plane and I'll fly above the FedEx freighter, and then I will like try to jump off of it at high speed and try to land on it and try to like sabotage the plane. That sounds like
This is why we don't have boarding in the game, right?
that sounds like Bane. That sounds like
Terrifying.
that sounds like Dark Knight stuff, man. Like
They've
Dramatic music.
requalified. They've suggested it as a gameplay feature for PvE. So not raiding other players' ships, but raiding enemy ships.
oh, I see. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's a little different from what we do, but
Yeah, because it
I
would
don't know, I
involve.
I think like
Flashy.
there's obviously like a lot of ideas. Basically, that's just all one idea, which is like more like asymmetric type of matches where it's like multiple player ship versus like a big boss or something. I mean, something we've thought about, but we haven't like designed it in detail yet. But I mean that I personally think that would be pretty awesome, But
So, we've seen that the AI director can spawn friendly AI light and medium faction ships, but can it also spawn friendly boss ships?
wow, like who's seen this? Like, by the way, like
This was during our
Who's asking?
during our
Who's
show
asking?
off stream in like early
Oh,
January.
yeah, that's
we
right. That's right.
we
You guys have
showed
seen this.
some. I think it was some Chaladonian ships spawning to aid the team in defense mode.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. That I can no longer BS. I mean, that requires Eric, I think.
What's the question?
Can the AI director spawn friendly boss ships?
Yes, it could. But I think we're gonna our stance on boss ships right now is we want to reserve them. Like when you see a boss ship, the reaction will always be, "Holy fucking shit, I'm going to die."
Okay.
It's like in Left 4 Dead. It's like when you see a tank, you're like, "Holy fuck, let's got to deal with this right now."
Fair enough.
Kind of thing. So we have yet to reach that. Once we do, we'll evaluate where we can go next.
Okay.
At least, like again, it's a lot of like pushing and feeling where we are, and we're not quite to the holy shit level yet. It is still impressive, but like really, like make sure you're wearing the brown pants type of thing. Not quite.
Do we plan to continue to work towards any unreached stretch goals from the Kickstarter campaign, such as open world, pilotable biplanes, etc.?
Open world, we never said we are gonna do. By the way, I think the way we like structured it was been like more route based. So I don't think open world will ever do, to be honest, because that scope is just like, I mean, unless we'll have to make an MMO. I mean, that's like out of our scope. But yeah, some of the goals that we listed on Kickstarter, we are going to do and what we are working on. Especially like basically like namely the more world and faction related goals we are working on. I mean, initially, like I know that in the Kickstarter campaign, we also like talked about maybe potentially doing some towns where you can like walk in, do saloons and have your hangar and trading houses and stuff like that. But like cantina and stuff like that. I've thought a lot about it, but I think the first priority obviously is all the effort in art and design and engineering right now has been just to get co-op, a lot of content for co-op and get all that stuff working. But that stuff, that's like the rest of the stuff are also like really fun. I think once we get the initial stuff solidified, then we have more time to actually do those things, and they're fun. I mean, if we have like some type of maybe not economics, but say some like secondary item trading, blah blah blah, in a trade house or something, or like places like a pub you can get bulletin. Like some of the ideas we tossed around before, like we can revisit. But I think our first priority is obviously to get PvE and the world progression and faction progression, all that stuff like done. And then the player progression is also pretty different in co-op as well. So like all those progression systems are new.
Yeah. Well, this is something that they mentioned. They sort of clarified their question, talking about sort of living world / persistent world building, and that's something that was originally sort of more of an extension goal that has been ever so slightly brought into the mix. So there is faction progression now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that it will be hard for us to get to will be like a persistent economy, like where you have like an economic system, because that's actually incredibly difficult, especially for us. It's something that we might not get to just because that's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, in a way, it's like what Eve does. Like we have to sort of rebuild that. I mean, it's pretty. The scope and complexity and difficulty of doing that. It's pretty extensive. It's once again, it's kind of like MMO and like crazy large scale game territory. So, but I think we'll try to capture, at least the essence of a lot of the spirit of that.
Okay. Well, it looks like we've just about caught up on questions right now. There's one little thing from further back, sort of talking about the boss ships being friendly, saying, it could be a really cool way to end a defense mode game in an epic fashion, to just have a boss ship turn up and completely own face for your team. But, here we go. Just talking for 10 seconds gives you a chance to get questions in. Will you guys ever add any hardcore RP features, such as being able to sleep in a crew quarters or being able to do emotes of some kind?
I think that's kind of cool. It's cool. it's cool. I mean, I feel like if it adds gameplay for, like, say in match, if it adds like gameplay value for crew, then then I think it could be potentially fun. If it's like if it adds value and doesn't distract from like what the crew is supposed to do, then it could be like pretty cool. It's like one more thing for people to do. But it's like if you're in your sleeping quarter and like there's like battle going on outside, that's like it's like, oh, Captain, sorry, I missed the combat, I was sleeping. That might be like another set of source of friction between Captain and crew or something.
Meta5 is suggesting that the crew quarters could be used as an interactive lobby system.
Or it's like, oh man, there's a lull in combat, so let's all go to like crew. You forget the captain for a second. He's driving. He's busy. Let's all go to the crew quarters and like let's play poker or Texas Hold'em.
That's kind of what it sounds like there.
Mini game.
There's a bit of talk about sky whales also.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like I think sky whale, we were like, you know what? I should refrain from talking about sky whale. I really should. But. Let's just say that like it really actually may be more it may be more probable, maybe that sky whale can make an appearance somewhere.
Interesting.
But I think like sky whale possible, like the super crazy economic system in the open world, no. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
It makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like open world, if there's any confusion, open world, I believe that I'm pretty sure. I think I should be 100% sure that like it was always not in scope. It was always out of scope. But like economics, we obviously did talk about, but like that's going to be probably beyond scope, beyond what we can do.
Okay. What about a steampunk dice mini game between friends?
That sounds like Liar's Dice. Steampunk. I don't know if Liar's Dice is not exactly steampunk. I realized, but it is a fun game though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to ask them. We're here for like at least another 20 minutes. So give us all of your things.
All the things.
Yes. Someone's saying, I kind of want a sky whale skull as a ship's figurehead.
That's
That-
interesting.
Yeah, that is a pretty intriguing idea.
You might get it.
Oh,
Oh,
there you go. All right. What options for clans and clan combat, either in PvP or PvE, are we hoping to add in the future? So sort of clan progression is what they're asking, really.
Yeah, so like clan progression is basically like something rooted, like at least a first rev, you can call it, of clan progression. It's actually what we're working on. One of the things we're working on for right now for PvP. But because, I mean, there's a limitation, like you see like some of the guild system or like the clan system in like, you know, more in other games that are like more that are just, you know, cooler, where you can pit two clans against each other and whatnot. Like, it's harder for us to do that, I think, just because you know, like, it's a little bit less realistic to, you know, have an automated system where, you know, oh, like two clans will be like pitted against each other. It's like, you know, because like, oh, one person's absent, given the way our game is designed, it's like, oh, one person's absent, then it's like, you know, that match is almost like messed up, you know. So it's hard to structure it that way, but we have structured it another way, which is kind of how we structure, you know, how we like faction progression a little bit. But it's anyway, so yeah, so we'll have like clan leveling, but then the reward will be, I think, will be interesting. Some of the things that we come up with are interesting, but they're not like, obviously they can't be gameplay impacting, right? It's like not like if you're a level 6 clan, you know, you get all these boosts that you can stomp on level 5 clan. That's not gonna happen.
Are there any new ships in the works or planned?
Oh, of course. There are 2 that's already made. One ship's like kind of being debugged, but 2 ships already made. They're just made for co-op. They're already functional.
I've seen them. I've seen one of them, and it looks formidable. I'm looking forward to seeing how people use it.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, we play enough, you know, you guys can tell us if they belong to skirmish or not.
Mm-hmm.
But that cannot be biased. That cannot be a biased answer, right? It's like, oh yeah, the ship's so OP, I'm going to bring it into skirmish.
Yeah.
You know?
A couple of
Yeah.
people are asking about the mannequin behind you, Howard. I can't remember its name.
His name is Bob.
Bob,
Right.
thank you.
It's Eric's.
Echo. It's
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
probably need to take that home when we move, huh?
That's true. It's Eric's child.
I thought
Eventually,
it was there for punching.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's-
see, right.
It's Eric's,
It's a baby.
it's Eric's child. We you know, we have, you know, what it's traditional Asian education style, you know. It's like, what? You don't listen to me?
wow.
I see, right.
Wow.
Okay. I believe you. Okay. Somebody, a Twitch user called the Bubba Lubba is asking if they could interview some of us again on the release of Alliance. So this might be someone
yeah,
that's
yeah.
been interviewed by you before.
Of course.
Or the other way around, even. Okay. So, yes, of course. Let's see what else has happened. By the way, in Clash at Blackcliff, there are those ships in the background, and I've been watching some of your teaser videos, and at the end of one of them, there's a similar ship. Coincidence? I'm thinking, yeah, because the raid at Refinery skybox has been in existence for some time. Maybe Howard's smiling. Howard maybe knows something that I don't.
Well, it's just like, it's not a well, okay, you know, I was gonna say, yeah, it's not meant to be a functional ship, right? But then again, at some point, like, you know, the Bonefish wasn't exactly meant to be a functional ship until it became a functional ship. So you never know.
It's not an easy ship to use, though, to be honest.
Wait, the Bonefish? You've used the
Oh,
Bonefish?
bonefish. I thought you said bullfish.
I was like,
fish, no.
wow, you've used the Bonefish.
No. Wrong ship,
What
wrong
did
ship.
I
Yeah.
miss? What did I
What kind of new sound design stuff, aside from music, is going into Alliance? So, for instance, war horns for factions or radio signals. New
Good
sound
question.
effects.
Like I have to ask George. George should be able to answer that best. But right now, like all the sounds that we're working on, are all like in game. You know, things related to objectives and just like stuff to do with the actual matches themselves.
Yeah, it's a lot of match objective notification type stuff. For example, since you'll be shooting a ton of enemies in alliance mode, priority is actually fairly important now. It's very hard to track targets, so making sure that you know or when the captain has changed target priorities, we thought about, we should probably like add some kind of like sound to that, so you know when to look out for it when it changes. Music is a really good one. Actually, we're doing a lot more with the music now. We're revamping our like encounter logic, or we're turning on and off things like sort of like the drums, but in a more in-depth and dramatic way. And of course, we'll have all our faction themes and stuff like that once Alliance mode rolls out. So a lot of cool things that you can look forward to on top of like all the new sound effects for all the new weapons and airships and whatever that's going to be included with Alliance mode as well.
I actually finally like if we rearrange our main theme into like a string quartet, let's say, or let's say a trio or quartet, I know exactly who I'm gonna ask to play it.
Yo-Yo Ma.
I wasn't gonna aim that high, but I'm glad you're aiming high, Eric. Hey man, like you always ask, right?
It's like you're like going around the country like trying to stalk Yo-Yo Ma these days. I thought that was the whole thing. You're like trying to warm up to him, like he sees you at like the reception afterward. Keeps seeing you. Like, oh, you're that guy. It's like, yeah.
I need to start going to the receptions and stuff. I need to start rubbing elbows with Yo-Yo Ma and stuff.
Somebody's asking us whether we kidnapped Matthew, cut his arms off, and named him Bob.
Oh, of course.
Oh, poor Matthew. So it wasn't even an internet problem at all.
Child,
Yeah, look, Matthew's really safe, and he's going to keep running the community with no arms, we promise. Everything's fine.
There is no proof that he is safe, by the way.
There is no proof at all. You have to take our word for it. Help me! He's alright.
Man, this is tragic.
Bubble Ubba confirming that they interviewed you about 2 years ago when the Kickstarter campaign was on. So, yeah. Get in touch with us. If you have any of our email addresses from back then, use that. Otherwise, feedback@musegames.com. Get in touch. Let's see. Have we considered a steampunk style Mark 19 for the ships? I'm assuming, is that meant to be a weapon, MK19? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what that is.
Let's see.
Yeah, if one of you Googles it for me, because my monitor's covered in things for the stream.
Oh, it's a grenade launcher.
Oh, a grenade launcher. Ah, well, ooh, okay.
Oh,
it looks
wouldn't that be kind of how the mortar works? Like,
Quite similar, yeah.
yeah.
It's a modern weapon though, right? I mean, there's no like historic precedent for what an MK19 is like, say 100 years ago though, right? I mean, I don't know honestly, I don't really know the evolution of some of the history of the weapons, some of the weapons,
Yeah.
but like I know like MK19 is like a grenade.
Like Eastern Asian
Like a-
dynasties had interesting manners of warfare and the different weapons they've actually used. Like there was an actual semi-automatic crossbow I've seen, like pretty well designed.
No, I mean the Mongolians had like essentially a form of
Archery,
like
yeah.
no, they actually had a little like they have like a small cannon that they can carry on horseback.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know?
Have we considered sort of taunting animations? I think
Yes.
we have. We've
We
considered.
have two actually, just never integrated. Originally, I think that the idea was for like emo, like you can like hotkey like so when you're chatting you can like do XYZ. We just didn't implement it. Like that it just got like originally it was like, oh, we're on the cusp of doing something like that, doing something about that, and just kind of dropped lower and lower in the priority. So, but yeah, we still have two animations that Derek made that we actually never used. So
Nice. Yeah, we've had a bit of clarification. It's a belt-fed grenade launcher, so
yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a a precedent for that in the time period that we were referencing. So
Hmm.
it's a badass gun though.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, we've got enough time for some more questions, so please start putting them through to us, and we'll get them answered up. Case though mentioning that seeing himself walk on stream is weird.
Walk on stream.
He walked behind Eric's back
Oh, right.
to get
right.
water. Captain Vandal saying we need smoke machines. I'm assuming that's for the ships, not for the live stream. And what do you think about that? We've got tar clouds, so
They're called.
I think can you lose? I can't remember how that works. I think you can lose your visibility. You can lose your spot if you're behind a tar cloud.
oh yes, it's very effective.
So yeah, so it's still viable even in that way too.
Mhm.
Oh man! So I just popped open this article on Venturebeat. It says that the opening paragraph says, beginning more than a decade ago, one of the largest security companies in the world, Moscow-based Kaspersky Lab, which actually is one of the antivirus that we have problems with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try to damage rivals in the marketplace by tricking their antivirus software programs into classifying benign files as malicious viruses.
Nice.
Damn.
There you go. It's already begun. The antivirus war
Benign
is on.
files such as Guns of Icarus as malicious virus. It could actually, the secret campaign is against Avast. Oh my god, it all makes sense now.
So that's why Avast has
Oh
problems with
my
us, is it?
God.
Wow.
I
That's
don't
a
know, who
very
knows?
interesting support point. How odd.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I'm gonna call
like
right now,
the-
guys. In before Skynet. Just saying
The
it.
two programs were notoriously bad against. It's interesting.
Destroying each other. You're like, yes.
We've got a couple of questions here. I noticed that weapons like the Hwacha are rated as medium. If you find any instance of a heavy gun being rated as a medium gun, let us know, because that's not supposed to be the case anymore. Let us know where you find it, and we'll correct it so that it says heavy, because those are heavy guns.
Yeah, they're heavy guns.
Yep. So thank you for letting us know if you see that anywhere. Make sure that you tell us.
Mm-hmm.
How about some sort of fireworks style weapon? So flies a fixed distance or for a fixed amount of time and then explodes in a burst. So kind of like a mine without the proximity sensor.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of our new weapons.
That's Queso. Queso, no.
Well, he.
Or Eric, no.
I can do whatever with the stuff that Queso has given me, but I'm trying to think what the actual design intentions are. I believe, some of them can be used in that fashion.
Okay, cool. What did Muse think about Horizon Zero Dawn? Now I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played it.
What is Horizon Zero Dawn?
It's a game of some kind. I remember the only reason I even know it exists is because of Escapist, because they commented on how meaningless the name is. It's really quite ambiguous. I don't know anything about it.
Game, okay.
So action, it's like what, action RPG game or something?
I don't know.
I'm just looking it up now.
Yeah.
I'm checking it out now.
It's like mecha dinosaurs.
I think the answer to your question is we didn't know about Horizon Zero Dawn. So
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I knew about it, but I didn't know what it was called. I just knew it's like, oh, it's a mecha dinosaur game. Like your cave, but they're mecha dinosaurs. I'm like, all right, that's rad.
That's kind of cool.
Rad.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. That's kind of cool. Like, I don't know if you.
Queso's
Yeah.
mentioning that a bunch of the artists have been talking about it in the office.
Ooh.
Okay. Somebody's suggesting a volley gun, and a couple of people are talking about how it's basically the Hwacha, except that like all of the projectiles fire at once. In a few ways, it's kind of a shotgun style thing. So it's like a carry load.
we kind of have that. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
slightly differently applied.
What is that? Why is there a pterodactyl?
Oh, it's
I
Mikko. Mikko
I
keeps
have dinosaurs
boxes.
in my
Yeah.
place. So
Oh
yeah,
my god! I was like, where's the dinosaur coming from?
Miko actually is just visiting Costa Rica.
yeah. What's
Jurassic
that?
World. He's visiting. He's
He's
visiting Jurassic. He's visiting Costa Rica, Jurassic World.
Yeah, I work for
Recording
Jurassic
live.
Park and Muse at the same time. So secrets revealed. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Can we give any hints about new weapons in the works aside from the lightning cannon, or are we waiting until PAX?
Lightning cannon. The new weapons won't be ready for PAX, unfortunately. But they will be ready. They like some of them likely will be ready by EGX, right? That'll be,
Woo!
so there.
All right.
So there.
So a month and a bit to wait. Good luck.
Lightning gun, beam, a bunch. I don't know. Eric can tell you.
Let me think. Okay, so lightning gun we all know about. For this upcoming build at PAX and what we're sending out to all our pre-order people, you won't get to use any of these guns on your own ship. The main reason being we haven't finished the actual assets for them. So we'll have to wait a little bit for those. But you'll see the bosses using them. Like the boss has a nice lightning gun on it. You'll be using that and tearing you apart with that. Right now we're trying to evaluate if we can get additional boss guns finished for this PAX build. And depending on what's on the table and how fast we can do it, maybe you'll see a new one. I'm not sure yet. But we're going to be testing one map for each of our 3 game modes. So three game modes, 3 maps, and 3 factions that you'll be fighting against. So 3 bosses. So hopefully we can get different weapons on each one of those bosses. That's the goal. But as to exactly like how well we'll be able to pull that off, it's cutting it real close right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Other relationships.
Anyways, that game, that like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys ever like have or play with like Zoids? The Japanese like dinosaur toys.
I recognize it, but I didn't have any.
That's actually really cool. But anyways, it reminds me a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Other relationships in Muse, a bit like Game of Thrones. Do we just assassinate each other to host streams? Yes. Matt is. That is why Matt has a white wig on and is sat behind Howard with no arms.
Okay, it is interesting, right? So Matt was out for today. Jacob's out for Josie's out for a little bit, and like people was like, "Oh my God, Howard killed him," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like I was out for 3 weeks.
But Howard, you couldn't.
Why wouldn't anybody say like, "Oh, Howard could have been the victim"? No, it was like Howard's. I'm always like the first murder suspect.
You were in your secret lair plotting your next scheme. That's where you were. There's no other explanation. A suggestion we should make a ballista type weapon that puts iron spears or rods into ships to weigh them down, so that they fall.
Harpoons.
Basically, a massive harpoon. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, a massive harpoon with the string breaks or something.
A heavy harpoon gun.
Yeah, literally heavy. Literally heavy harpoon.
Literally, yeah.
So heavy. The problem is, though, that if you had to carry all that ammunition, surely those spears would make your ship sink long before you reach your enemy. Assuming we wanted to go for realism, which is not the main point. But still.
Yeah.
Heavy ballista.
I just get like my ideas are running wild in my head. But
Think away. Think
I
away.
dare not say.
Take some notes.
But I dare not say anything.
Yeah.
Eric's sitting over there like, don't say anything.
Don't say it. I think it's like a few weeks ago I was on stream and then I was saying some stuff I forgot, and Alex like afterwards like, what did you say? Did you just say this? I'm like, yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
Oh, man.
No.
Yeah. There's a lot of really great ideas that we get sometimes, and we do have them like stored up. So
Yeah.
just the time when they can be implemented, but there's some really cool ideas. So
There's
you
another
guys offer really good ideas.
There's another suggestion here for a glue gun, which gets in everything and is also flammable.
Oh my god!
So you
If we
coat
do
you
a glue
coat
gun-
them you
Oh
coat
my
them
God.
in glue, and then you set
I
fire
can
to
just
them.
see it, dude. I can see it now. It's like
If we do
it's
a
like
glue
Portal, you know, with
gun,
the
if we do a glue gun, hey Eric, man, if there's a glue gun, we need that fourth class. We need the deckhand class.
Just somebody to clean the guns every so often.
the deck.
Yeah.
It's
Clean
like
the deck.
I specialize in cleaning, guys.
Get Captain Coffee. Mop the floor. Mop the deck.
I would agree with this
Water
class,
the-
actually.
Water the plants.
Yes, we need. So
Yeah.
does the coffee help revive stamina faster? What is it for? Tell us about coffee.
Oh my god.
That class. We need.
I could just see Eric's head trying not to explode with rage.
No, I mean like
No, he
the way
knows.
that
He knows. I've been talking about this for like 3 years.
people who have been flagged and are like punished, they can only play the fourth class for like a week. Play the game, we won't ban them, but you have to. You know, and that's fine because
of deckhands just everywhere.
there are games now where you play like as a janitor. There's like that spaceship game where you play as a janitor or something. Like it's a thing. And there's like that platformer and you're like you have a broom and stuff and you're like it's like dust sweep or something like that. So it's legit. People there's
Dust Force.
yeah.
Dust Force is a pretty good game.
The Ultra Mage is suggesting, Howard, that you might have to start issuing formal apologies at the start of every stream for what you said the previous week.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, okay, apologies for ideas that I'm solely responsible for that we're not going to implement, not endorsed by everything else. Check. Apologies for committing to some vague maybe release build out date that the rest of us did not agree to, and me making stuff up. Check. What else am I apologizing for?
I have no idea. Just
Killing
anything.
fellow members. Check.
Alright, we've got a couple more minutes until the stream comes to an end, so if you give us a couple more questions. In fact, here's one right now. How about some sort of magnet gun that bends other weapons' shots and will also bend FPS on the way?
Jesus.
That's a really interesting idea.
Now, you see, what I want to do is I want to have that as a heavy gun next to a Minotaur so that one gun pushes while the other gun pulls.
Man, dude, like,
Oh,
what
man.
about like a stun weapon, right? You shoot it at a ship, and like, if the crew like go repair something with with say like a wrench or whatever and whack on the component, they get electrocuted and just get stuck there for like seconds.
Oh gosh.
And then so then the engineer would need like a skill to like,
This all sounds
You know,
very
like,
worrying.
spray it.
This magnet gun or whatever, like the idea of pulling projectiles in the air. Like imagine if you're trying to save your ally, you activate that gun, it flex the
What
shots.
if it's like
but
a
it can
guided
backfire and come
projectile?
towards you too if it's
So
close
what if
enough.
what if like
Have that. If this is
A
how
magnet gun?
no the opposite.
No,
Well,
yeah.
A pushing gun. Well, it's the Minotaur.
No,
I
I'm talking about
believe-
projectiles in the air.
Yes. If projectiles are things that move in world space, the Minotaur should affect those. Sort of like if you use a flamethrower, you can blow up projectiles before they hit your ship. But
What if
as to they apply too much force, enough force to push them away, I don't know. I'm not sure. But
well, what if you have like some dude who's like a notoriously bad shot, right?
Interesting.
Not to name like any names or whatever, but and then like you could use a gun with the Minotaur. It's like, oh man, you missed again, fool! Like you shoot that gun and drag his missed bullets in
It's-
the right direction.
Yeah, but at the same time, I blame the pilot too for not getting him less mock or something if they know they can't, or lead the shots enough. So it's like you could have recommended him that, and given him the right loadout.
Okay.
To be fair.
Right. Well, it looks like we've just about reached the end of our time. There's just one little thing. Someone's asking, could we repeat when beta keys are going to be sent? Do we have a
Beta
date?
keys? I don't know. Like the keys that we're going to be sending out, they're not beta keys, by the way, guys. Like, I would not even say that we're in alpha because we're not like even feature complete by any means. So like call it a prototype build and whatnot. But like you will be what you guys will be getting initially will at least be 3 maps that you guys will be able to play, and essentially there are 3 different game modes, and so on and so forth. So like they're not like alpha builds. They're not beta builds.
Okay, there you go. So,
Yeah.
No, I say beta keys because like that's what Steam calls it. So if I cause any, so if I cause any confusion, I apologize. But it's just like
All right.
they're like test keys,
No
whatever.
Okay, well, that just about wraps us up. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming and listening to us today, the Dev Fireside Chat. I've been Josie, and we've had Mikko, Howard, and Eric. We will be back on Tuesday at what I think is 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the Dev Games. Yeah, that's Muse time. Tuesday and Thursday for that, and then again, same time next week for Friday Dev Fireside. We'll see you then. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, bye guys.